Hello, I'm Rosie and I want to show you how you can create order out of chaos and gain an extra 14 hours each week. And I want to thank you for joining me. I'm very happy to share this webinar. I promise I will not waste your time because I've thrown in lots of bonus material and tips for you along the way. I may have met some of you before and some of you are here for the first time, so welcome. Welcome everybody. For those of you who don't know me yet, I'm a person who works on the inside of families through my parent support programs. My focus is on assisting high achieving parents to raise responsible and resilient children, even if they work full time. And of course, part of that is also supporting strong family relationships. Firstly, just so that you know a little bit about me, can I tell you who I am? I'm a parenting and relationship consultant from Perth, Western Australia, with qualifications in social science, child development and neurolinguistic programming. And I've worked with families for a very long time. I say I've worked on the inside of families, and I've been doing that for more than 30 years. So in this webinar today, we certainly will give you lots of take-home tips that you can start to use straight away to create more order and more flow and definitely more pleasure in your home life. But I promise to show you how you can gain an extra 14 hours each week. The idea of the webinar is based on a very practical tool from my program Frustrated Parents Bootcamp, and I'm passionate about sharing that with you. So, if you are here because you're feeling like you're constantly pushing everyone, the whole family that is, uphill, or maybe you're trying to be everything to everyone, maybe you're looking for a way to manage everything that your family needs to do each week, every week of the year. Maybe you are fed up with feeling like you're the family slave, or if you are coming home to a to-do list that never gets done, or spending the weekend catching up only to repeat the marathon of family living over and over again each week without reprieve from the boring and the mundane tasks of life. Or if you find yourself arguing or nagging others to help, yep, that means your partner and your kids, but if you simply give up because that's too difficult, or maybe your family's rocking along wonderfully with very positive goals and huge intentions. But sometimes life just feels too hectic. You may find yourself simply with too much on your plate. If these challenges sound familiar, then I can help you. Are you constantly running to keep on with the demands of life? Have you heard that the more you do, the less others will actually contribute? Do you find yourself frantically busy, constantly rushing to get things done? But maybe you're just not achieving the results you want. And when that happens, you most probably find yourself exhausted, not your best, and typically not that great for any of the people you spend time with at home or at work either. So, if you're frazzled, if there's simply not enough of you to go around, if your partner wants you back and your kids want more of you, and sometimes it feels like there's just not enough of you, you know that thing, right? Stretched and strained. Sound familiar? Well, if you work long hours, the reason you probably do this is because somewhere along the line, maybe you and your partner made a commitment to work to get a better lifestyle, better education, or a better home for the family. Somehow it's all got too demanding and too consuming. Chances are you actually have very little quality time together as a couple, or time to just chill with the kids. Do you find yourself wanting to get this done but thinking about several things at once? Do you find yourself overwhelmed with tasks to do, doing more than one thing at a time and getting less done? You may be worrying about the kids at work and worrying about work when you're at home, right? I've been there too. Now, most high achievers know that they simply must find a way to manage a crazy busy schedule because so often they're simply trying to do too much at work and at home too. So, if your to-do list looks like this, would 14 extra hours each week be something that you would want? Would it give you more freedom, more fun, more peace, more control in your week? Let me know if that's something that you would like right now. Is it something you would love? Most women would say yes, absolutely, because imagine what you could do with that time. Wouldn't you rather be doing a doona day maybe, staying in your PJs, going to the beach with a book, doing something special with the kids? What about time to pamper you, or even better, time to just top up your own emotional tank? And imagine if you didn't have a weekend to-do list. Imagine if you did have more of those things that create the difference between day-to-day survival and living a lifetime, a lifestyle for a lifetime. What are the things you would do with that extra time? What if you had more family fun time, doing the things you love and investing in you, knowing that your home life was all running smoothly, your kids were well, your partner was happy, and that you could go to work guilt-free with some energy left over too? Wouldn't that be marvelous? So in this webinar, we promise to tell you that firstly, we understand the dilemma and the struggle of being caught in the space between family, relationship, and career, with not enough hours in the day. So I promise to help you create a better quality of life by teaching you 3 steps to getting organized, to stay organized 365 days of the year, how to stop doing too much and get the help you need, how to build resilience by not over-helping your kids, how to manage everything that your family life requires of you without becoming the family slave, and also how trying hard as a parent could hurt you and those you love. Would you like to discover your absolute yes list for well-being? To feel valued and appreciated? Because when you start with taking care of you, you have a more positive outlook on life. That means more energy, less procrastination, and less overwhelm about exactly what to do to break the cycle of being crazy busy. How you create a better family lifestyle and more connected relationships with 14 extra hours to play with each week. That's what we're going to talk about on this webinar. Because we want to share a plan to create order out of chaos 7 days a week and 365 days a year. So we're going to look at a process that involves what you can do with everyone on board as a family, and then we're going to add in even more people to help and also show you new ways of doing things that definitely make life easier. A bit like working smarter, not harder. And we'll bring it all together in one simple planner that reduces stress and tension for everyone living in your house. If you are on this webinar, you've already received my ebook, How to Multiply Time, and that has 27 pages of tips and strategies. It shows you how you can work smarter and harder to make life easier both at home and at work. I hope you find that useful. Now, just before we get into what I've promised to teach you today, I have something else for you too. I want you to leave with some real value, and that will take about 60 minutes on the webinar. So because I know your time is valuable, I'm asking that you stick with me. Stick with me to the end of the webinar, and for those who stay, I will send you my self-coaching article on how to create your best year yet. That will give you the tools and the tips and the strategies that will change your mindset so that you can transform your thinking into better ideas about what you want for the year, know how to start and finish tasks to get the results that you want. Now, that's only available for those who stay to the end of the webinar, and I'll send it to you straight away because we appreciate you on this call. And we'll also let you know how you can get all the encouragement, the tips, and the strategies to get on the road to positively changing family life from chaos to harmony easily. So, if you're ready, we'll move forward. To be honest, I'm not Superwoman, and I didn't ever fit that mold. But I always knew I had to find extra ways of staying on top of things as a working parent, because there were several years that I worked full-time, studied at university, and cared for my family. There were definitely times I was crazy busy. Sometimes, when I look back now, I think that may have been close to insanity, but we'll just stick with crazy busy for now. I find myself between chaos and pandemonium on some days. I can remember reading for a uni assignment with a book propped up against the kitchen window while I washed the dishes and tried to talk to my children who were having their dinner all at the same time. I agree, that was a bit crazy and definitely not within my scope of family values. I had to-do lists. I often find I went to bed each night still behind what I expected myself to complete, and I often worked through the middle of the night also. I tried working harder, fitting more into my day with less downtime, and then I thought maybe if I had a few perks, something special for me that would motivate me to make the busyness worthwhile. And I thought I'd better keep my own tank topped up. So I developed what I call my absolute essentials, things essential to my well-being, and that increased my confidence, my capacity, it added enjoyment to my day. Knowing my own needs were being met gave me more energy, more motivation to achieve my targets. I have to admit it also gave me some control and a little bit of luxury, which I really love. So I'm going to share this with you because it's a great place to start by reclaiming you before you reshape your family or rewrite the year ahead. So here's my absolute yes list for my well-being. Firstly, order, knowing where things are, what has to be done, when and by whom, and a clear aesthetic space in my home where I can relax and just be me. I'm not a perfectionist and I don't have to have a show home, but I like things to look nice where I can relax. I like tranquility, a time to think. I like cleanliness and boundaries so I don't become the family slave. And that means time management, so nothing steals my time. Knowing where things are gives me some control. I also like a bit of excitement and some luxury with some play every day. I wanted to reward my efforts with some of these things, true to my values, that created happiness for me. Putting myself first released me from a feeling that I was stuck on an uphill struggle because it made me feel a bit better to care for others without resentment, but it didn't necessarily give me a more productive day. So there you have it, my absolute yes list. This is how I learned to take care of me first to be better for those around me. However, some things were still left undone at the end of each week with jobs and chores piling up. The starting point of getting out of a rut and off the treadmill was finding things that pleased me in the busyness of my life. So I want to invite you right now to get out a piece of paper and write down the things that are essential to your well-being. I don't mean, the luxury, wonderful things that you'd, bring into your life if you won the lotto, for example, but I'm talking about everyday, achievable things that you can accomplish and have in your life on a regular basis, and call this the absolute yes list. Yes, the things you need to feel okay through the busyness of life. What better way of topping up your own emotional tank? Write this list in the front page of your diary, on the mirror, next to your bed, and begin to create these things as special and a regular part of your life as often as you can. Now, back to the family. Do you struggle to get cooperation you need, or find it just too demanding asking for the help you need? Here's the very reason why many good parents become the family slave. By that I mean you take on jobs that you know the kids are quite capable of doing and that they could really help with, just because it's too difficult to get their cooperation and to follow through until tasks are completely successful or completed. Often, to get a positive outcome, it takes nagging, scolding, or it takes at least several repeated attempts at the task to get it done. And that's frustrating for both children and parents. Who on the call simply believes they must be everything to everyone because it's hard to get your kids to do the things that you ask them to do? Imagine not feeling like it's easier to do it yourself. Imagine not feeling resentful doing everything yourself. And imagine being able to get help to make life more efficient, more rewarding. And then you will no longer feel like you have to carry the load. Now, there are two ways that you can get more help. Firstly, from everyone living in your home, and then also from people who are waiting for you to call them so that they can start helping you too. So if you want to get more help from everyone living in your home, you must remove the nagging, the overmanagement, which I call the policing, because that only leads to resentment. Like the little fellow in the picture here, it leads to oppositional defense. You've been there before, you've seen that look when children just stay kind of rooted to the floor and refuse to do what you've asked them to do. Do you know what I mean? That's when children just refuse because they can, and that path usually reads nowhere positive. But by finding a way to automatically help kids feel good about wanting to help you, then by letting them organise how and when they will help to get things done, to get the result you want, that is cooperation and shared responsibility. And I promise to show you how this can be done for you and your family. This webinar is not all about getting your children to do more, but we are starting here because this is a matter almost every parent struggles with at least sometimes. Now, let's address the emotional baggage attached to the idea of getting children to help out more. Because some parents don't get their kids to help out much, and others feel it's just too hard asking them to help. And then again, others spend a great deal of time in conflict over who will do what and often give up. The majority of families find getting everyone who lives in the house to help consistently is challenging. Imagine having to nag to get cooperation, or to never get into a battle of wills like this mum and this young man in the picture. Now, if you have concerns about your children doing jobs or doing chores at home, if you feel guilty about that, here is a list of all the advantages that your kids will gain from being more involved with simple housework. These are life skills. You can't get them in the mall, and you can't get them online. You can't get them with a credit card. So here are some good reasons to get kids involved in household chores. Supporting children to get involved while expecting them to make a contribution at a level that is appropriate for their age and development, of course, builds resilience, builds inner strength and capacity over time, and it has many psychological, emotional, and social benefits. In my opinion, modern children have a lot done for them. Sometimes this is not helpful, nor does it enable them to become responsible, independent young adults in the not too distant future. By teaching, supporting, and working with your children to do everyday tasks, you can build their ability by not over helping them. Keeping kids participating and involved in household chores in daily living is not unfair, it's not harsh, because it gives them the gifts of independence and it teaches them language skills, cognitive skills, things like turn taking. It helps them to understand that every task has a beginning, a middle, and an end, so that they can learn task planning and completing. They learn how to problem solve, how to work with others, which leaves them more confident and competent in all areas of life. They will learn math skills, measuring, science skills, and the ability to stick to routines and organize themselves and cooperate with others to get results. These are good things for kids to learn. Always remember, you are raising kids to be great young adults one day, and your children will need all of these competencies in school and in the workforce later on. Whilst you are keeping them involved with helping at home, you are teaching them transferable skills they need for living life. We don't expect your children to carry the load more than is reasonable to expect of them, because after all, they are still children. They need time to play and to just be kids. But it makes so much difference to a smooth running home when everyone contributes. And your children will benefit too, because one suggestion is that when tasks are completed, recorded, then children can earn points and they can elect interesting experiences to do as a family, given the additional time that you have saved. The benefit comes when you positively engage with children, giving them some autonomy and some affirmation. Appreciate their contribution. If you do your part well as adults, the children will want to jump in and nominate what they can do, knowing they will gain family fun time as a reward. Now, we want you to have support systems, especially if you're beginning a change like this for the first time. We want you to have systems that make it easy to include your family, for everyone to do things. Many good parents have also become very good slaves to their children, and some ask very little of them. This may not be in the best interest of the developing child nor the family. So if in the past you have never considered seriously what your children could help with around the house, take a piece of paper right now and make a list of some of the jobs you think you could help with, starting from now. First, list the things you know they are capable of. Everyday things, perhaps washing the dishes, clearing the table, feeding the pets. Write down as many as you can think of. Then, add in another list, a list of tasks you could do with them and tasks that you could teach them to do with practice, depending on the age and ability again of the children. Things like putting their washing in the washing machine and turning the washing machine on. Things like bringing in the washing, or maybe even doing the online grocery shopping order if they are older children and very keen on computers. Be creative with this. I encourage you to consult your children and to make as big a list as possible. Now, if you worry about how to get kids help without an argument, then I can help you with that challenge too. We have designed a family organizer that lets your children nominate how they can help and then schedule in what they will do. It takes all of the pressure off of you having to ask, to beg, to nag your family members for help. You don't have to use the family organizer. Everything I'm teaching you on this webinar will help you get your own family involved. But the organizer takes the sting, the pain out of policing. It takes the problem out of delegating and allocating and then hassling to make sure that jobs have been done. The family organizer is an alternative to losing your cool, and put quite simply, it's a practical solution to family argument over chores. If you are tired of chore wars, if your family needs a way of planning, delegating, staying in control and feeling good about it, and if you are frustrated being in the driver's seat, if it's difficult to muster all the energy that you may need to change tactics in your family, the organizer can get your kids nominating how they can contribute and what tasks they are willing to do. This is a wonderful way of reducing conflict, of making the change to get kids to do chores, tasks at home. It's a tool that easily get kids and parents positively working together, sometimes in teams, sometimes doing things autonomously or independently, and by enabling your children to nominate how they will contribute and when they will do their tasks. Now that takes the struggle out of policing who does what, when, and how. I'm introducing the Family Organiser and I'm making it available to you at the end of this webinar. Now, to save yourself from stress, unhappiness, and overload, we want you to be happier, because when you are overloaded, everything gets stressful and home life usually gets uncomfortable, especially if you are a working parent feeling under pressure, because overload and stress are too costly on your health, on your image, and your relationships. You do deserve quality blocks of time with your partner and your children, and you deserve a chance to stop the clock sometimes too. Stress is the most destructive element in family life, and often it's the greatest contribution to illness and unhappiness in the community too. So save yourself from guilt and concerns about your children's ability to learn, and teach them problem solving, attention to detail, and how to build self-esteem by making a worthwhile contribution. Always remember, kids usually love helping if it is easily done without harshness and if they feel they are being rewarded in some way. Think of the last time your children happily completed a task. What was going on then? Can you visualize in your mind's eye? How supportive were you? How many choices did they have in completing the task? And what was the result when they did complete the task? What was the feedback that you gave him? Did it encourage you? Did it encourage your child to want to do more tasks for you? Our way of rewarding and acknowledging kids is spending quality time with them, communicating purposefully and affirming their effort. Sometimes you might need to lower your standards, especially at first. But always remember to appreciate the effort when children are helping out. Appreciate their skills, the skills they have already got, and build on those. And appreciate their willingness to get involved and make a contribution to family living. Show them how important that is. Show that you genuinely appreciate what they have done. For families, the obstacle is that they find it hard to actually decide who will help and how their children will help. The best thing is that your older children and your partner can use the Family Organiser independently. They can schedule and choose in how they will help. They can elect how they want to participate in the weekly family life and the chores, and they can choose and enter in what they will do. Now that creates a special kind of magic because it gives kids some control, and it enables you to be supportive rather than demanding what they will need to do to help. This method is a turnaround for many families. It enables children to have control. It provides flexibility to work around homework and sporting commitments. So instead of saying, John, I want you to clean your room right now, John can elect to clean his room at 3:30 tomorrow afternoon when he's completed his homework, project, and sporting commitments. The job still gets done with a little bit more flexibility, and everybody stays happier. Families who use this tool find that aspect most useful and the single thing that moves them forward to shared cooperation more successfully. So please let me tell you more about the Family Organiser, because it will help you keep track of everything a family needs to manage, not just the chores. It's a master planner and a record of all family business. But it's not a to-do list and it's not a diary. It's so much more than that. It's an organisational package that covers all areas of family life. So you can create your best year yet. The Family Organiser is an electronic planner. You can anywhere, you can use a laptop or a PC, and it keeps track of everything. Even more than that, it provides a way to coach your own family to achieve what is important to you. Yes, it helps you identify your goals in every area of family life and work together to achieve them. You can customize it to suit your family members' age, ability, their activities, their routines, and their individual schedules. And since we give you strategies and a template to set goals, each member of the family can work towards your combined targets, or you can set goals individually for each member of the family. This way, you have a system at home that gets everything done on a weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual basis without anybody being late to pick up the kids, missing a meeting, or forgetting to order the groceries in, and without any one person taking on the full load. Being organized and planning ahead, the days will tick into manageable weeks. Planned months will become successful quarters, and we even give you a way to manage all 365 days of the The family planner is critical for successful family, because the first step to being happier is claiming back time. It's always the first step in being happy and claiming back time is always getting organized. Would you agree? The really good thing, using the organizer will generate a smooth flow of activity. It will keep you specific and on target, saving your energy and your time. Yes, your time. Just being on top of things, being strategic about what has to happen to keep a family life running smoothly is a positive direction. It will save you 6 or 7 hours of time that you could otherwise spend procrastinating, chasing your tail, fussing, or giving in to overload. The organizer is not all about scheduling your time, though. It's not only about who does what. It will also help you to keep track of where the money goes. You can budget and you can include fun things like date nights, fun family experiences, and a little sanctuary at home. The Family Organiser comes with a basic budgeting tool that helps you record your income and your expenditure on a balance sheet monthly. And more than that, it'll help you plan and achieve the family lifestyle that you actually want. Because you wouldn't want your life to look like this. And for that reason, we give you a whole page of suggested fun activities that you can do as a family. Some of them you can do with very little cost, and some of them are actually free. Because when you work harder, you are entitled to play harder too. Of course, you can put your own list together of ideas, but we've given you a whole heap of ideas on the template to get you off the work treadmill, started on developing a lifestyle with a little bit of sanctuary thrown into. Children and parents can use the family activity page to work towards special achievements and rewards. For example, my grandchildren recently helped us over a weekend to clean out our garage, and as a result of that, they were rewarded with movie tickets to take their friends to see a movie in the school holidays. Now, once you get into the habit of working with your children like this, involving them to get things done on their own, you will feel relieved in the whole family's ability to cope, to get things done. And that means your sanity and your mood will outlast the every day, so that you can feel better for you, better for the kids, better for your spouse, and you'll be more productive at home and at work too. Most families find they get more time to talk to each other with less hassle. Others find they do more together as a family with greater family connection, and the kids get recognition for shared responsibility, which makes them want to step up and show that they can do even more and greater tasks. Everyone begins to feel significant. Everyone will begin to feel significant. You will be happy because you see things getting done. Your husband will probably be relieved because family life is flowing and you're less stressed. And the children begin to feel a greater self-esteem because they are proving their ability and getting recognition for it. So you will all be less hassled. Both children and adults will start to take more control of their environment and feel happier too. Now, my tip is to use the organizer to schedule in family meetings. Now, they don't need to be formal sit-downs around the dinner table. They can be going for a walk, spending time sitting on the beach, anywhere you can share ideas and make decisions together, and where you can listen to each other. Communicate on a meaningful level and solve problems before they become destructive. And then you really can live together better every day without driving each other crazy. Now here's a list from the Family Organiser just so that you can, have a look at the pages and see what it's like. This is a master sheet of the chores that every family member can choose from when deciding how to contribute to the household. But this is a sample. You can use the template and add in your own chores, the things that you decide as a family will work in your house according to the age and the ability of your children. And you can delete the ideas that you don't think are suitable for them and even add in the ones that will be appropriate at their stage of development. Now, in my experience, I've found a lot of parents are a little bit overprotective, and many actually underestimate what their children can do according to their level of brain development and their physical ability. So let them teach you. Be brave. Let them teach you what they are capable of. The tool is one way you can keep kids informed and on track. For example, it's not only about getting chores, it will help you with forward planning, with setting goals and getting things done so that you can stay organised every day, living together efficiently. So for example, here's a chart about routines and rituals. You can colour code to suit each family member, and if your children are too young to read, you can develop a routine and rituals chart with pictures. The idea is to create more flow, to create less crazy mornings and evenings so that the children recognize a process, a systematic process of what needs to happen every morning to get up, to get ready for the day, have breakfast and get out the door, either to school or to childcare or to activities. And in the evenings there is usually a systematic process that needs to happen, that children have some family time. They have a shower, they have a meal, usually there's a quietening down time, perhaps reading stories or quiet activities, and then it's bedtime. So a routines list helps that to run effortlessly and for family days to be more manageable. Let me tell you, the easiest way to create a routine is to be certain that your children know exactly what's expected of them. So teach them the skills step by step that are required, practice them, and create the routine as a daily event, frequently, regularly, keeping to the steps of the process until your children can complete the routine independently. And when they do that, you make the routine a ritual. That's just one area of life that can, really make a significant difference to your sanity in running a family. Now, you and your partner wouldn't want to be ships that pass in the night either. No matter how busy you are, you've chosen to live a life together. And the Family Organiser not only supports you to do more as a couple, you can use this to plan how and when to have fun together, connect more, sharing couples only times and date nights. because we want your relationship to last longer than raising the kids. I always say that children matter and parents matter too. Now, the greatest purpose of this is planning, because they say that if you fail to plan, you rarely do plan to fail, right? Now, my clients from Frustrated Parents Bootcamp, a program that helps parents get on the same page to create harmony out of chaos in 5 easy steps. This is where the organizer came from. This is one of the tools of that program. And they say they really like this product because using it is easy and it has a huge benefit. Quite simply, it's useful every day. Family members can access the organizer. You can print out charts. They can use a PC. You can put up pages on the fridge or add pages into children's school diary for routines and chores that kids can work on a daily basis. And you can use pictures if your children are not yet reading well. It's as much about enjoying each other, working together, as it is about getting things done together, with lots of ideas of what you can do to improve family life. The organizer helps you with the short-term planning, but it also allows for 90-day and annual planning. This gives you clarity in your life, because when you can look ahead and know that there are no big surprises, when you use the 90-day plans, imagine yourself where you would like to be in life with everything you want to achieve when everything's been successfully completed. Look ahead. If you were in that space right now, what would your home, your relationships, what would your parenting look like, feel like, and sound like? If you were at that space that you had achieved a wonderful family life, smooth running, organized, and successful, how would that be? How would it feel? What would you hear parents, what would you hear your children saying? What would you hear other people saying about your parenting? That's a wonderful space to be in, and you can achieve it too. I have learned through working with hundreds of families, sometimes working to support them through a home visiting program, yes, going to their home and supporting them as parents. I have learned that the key to family well-being and a smooth running home is being organized. But I have to admit, I have not always been on top of things as a working mother. That might surprise you, but previously I tried to accept lower standards, thinking maybe I could accept more mess. Maybe I could tidy up less often. I could even look the other way, ignore the pile of washing until the weekend. I could accept the marks on the floor and clean the bathroom less. But that didn't work either, because it just made me feel sloppy. It filled me with inner conflict because I wanted more than that. So I tried asking, telling, even nagging my daughters to do things, which never paid off, not even when I withdrew their privileges. That led very quickly to resentment, to disappointment. And I learned if you threaten to enforce a consequence, someone has to follow it through. And that added another headache for my husband and myself. We both felt uncomfortable with having to, argue and debate and cajole children to do things, even threaten to punish them if they refused. We didn't like life that way. I tried doing everything myself. I thought, right, I've got the answer. I'll just hoe in, get things done, be superwoman. But I just got exhausted with no time reinvested in what I wanted most, a relationship with my kids, a happy home and a career, and a wonderful relationship with my husband Jim. And I wanted that to last longer than the business of paying off the mortgage or raising the children. I learned that sometimes I was simply trying too hard, and that trying too hard kept me stuck. I was stuck in a cycle of trying too hard. In general, the harder I tried, the more stress I generated. and the more things got on top of me. The more I tried to get everything done, to be everything to everyone, the more anxious and resentful I got inwardly, and the less willing I was to do what I had to do. That created more stress, more resentment, more unhappiness, which led to resistance, procrastination, and overload. That just created even more stress. I came to realize that self-management, career management, and family management were all linked, because they're all related to how much family time, how much energy I had, and how much motivation I had. And they all impacted on the quality of family lifestyle. They all influenced my energy level, my capacity to cope as a mother, a wife, and as a worker. And deep down, trying too hard impacted my self-esteem, because I hate things getting on top of me. And that's when I realized trying too hard was hurting me, and stress and resentment was hurting my family too. Trying too hard was not the answer. It cost me too much, and it cost my family too. I realized I had to take charge of my life and my time, and I needed a way to stay focused, structured, and disciplined if I wanted to achieve my goals. Finding all available resources and becoming very strategic was the real answer. Every business, every community group or organization has a big plan. They call it the strategic plan because it focuses on what they want. That means it specifically targets what matters most, and then it documents specific goals that show people how to take action and how to achieve the outcomes they want. And it states who will be responsible for completing each task. Even though I lived in a family, not an organization, I decided we too needed a master plan that reached beyond the outcomes of each day. We didn't need the formality of a business plan, but we did need a system for getting things done if we wanted more out of life than day-to-day grind that generates lots of chores, lots of to-do, and lots of resentment. So ultimately, I realized that I was leaving things undone that mattered to me. I was feeling defeated by the boring and the mundane tasks of everyday life, and that ate into my weekends. A little voice inside my head said, "Come on, Rosie, this isn't complicated. Figure out a better way." I knew I had to use my brain, my heart, to figure it out. Like this little saying says, always follow your heart, but take your brain with you. And sometimes we get so bogged down, we get so foggy that we lose the clarity to find really workable solutions. So the Family Organiser came to be, and it provided the answer when allowing, planning, and bringing everyone on board, and enabling my children to learn life skills, to be part of a fun family with activities on the weekends and time out together. It enabled my husband and I to think through what we wanted, to delete what got in the way, to get rid of clutter, and to develop a system of managing at home that gave us more freedom. It allowed all of us to communicate more about the results we wanted, and it made us feel like we were achieving what we set out to achieve. So using the Family Organiser, not really a big deal. It's not difficult, and it's not rocket science to put together. You can do it over a glass of wine on a Sunday evening, sitting together as a family. You can hold a family meeting. You can discuss who wants to do what while walking the dog and write it in afterwards. And you can even do it in the bathtub with your partner or in the pool with your kids. Over the years, Jim and I have definitely had most of our family meetings in the bathtub. Why not? The payoff is it makes such a difference to talk to each other, to plan your happiness, and to plan the flow of each day. To plan how, who, and where you will get the help you need. To have free time to involve everybody in the family and to see the benefits roll out. You see, the benefit is that week by week, the jobs get done, freeing up your weekend. Once I took charge, I decided that all challenges can be managed. So I learned that you cannot be everything to everyone a lot of the time. Sometimes you just have to let go to leap forward. And if you want to run a marathon, you must invest in good running shoes. That means you'd not dream of running a race bare feet. Well, if you want to run a home, you must invest in the resources and the support you need in addition to decide to outsource whatever you can, whenever you can, and get the equipment you need to make everyday life easier. Virginia Satir calls this family engineering. And John Lennon said, life is what happens to you when you're busy making other plans. So can I ask, how does life happen to you? Do you create your own outcomes? Do you make deliberate decisions? Or is your life driven by circumstances and what happens externally? Do you bounce around from one significant consequence to another? Can I ask, what does your family life look like right now? How would you describe it? What happens to you when you're busy making other plans? How then does life happen? How do you create your own circumstances, your own results? How do you make decisions that drive positive experiences for your family? To do that, you must know what you want, be very clear, and you must be prepared to take action to get what you want, to make it happen. The first step to making things happen in new direction is deciding to take action, to do things differently, to get out of your comfort zone with deliberate decisions, to do more of what matters, more of what improves your quality of life, and less of what does not serve you. How many times do you find yourself repeating things over and over again that you know are just a headache, that you know are a bother and a rudimentary obligation that you well could live without? These are the things I mean when I say prune off what no longer serves you. You must allocate time for your goals and your dreams. Make space for your life, for joy, rather than hoping and wishing that one day happiness will stumble across and find you. If you were at the end of your life, sitting in a rocking chair, what would be things that you would have wanted to achieve in your life? Start to plan to do them, because Anthony Robbins reminds us to live our own life before someone else does. The Family Organiser provides a way that you can reclaim your time and reclaim positive life experiences. Think about that for a while. I know that I have given much of my energy and time away to jobs or to government departments or, bosses who in the big picture of life don't mean nearly as much as my partner, my family, and my home does to me. Now let me share 3 steps to getting organised. I've told you how I believe this makes a significant difference, because those who make the worst use of their time are often the first to complain of its shortness. This way, to ensure you get time for what you want is to become very, very organised. That means strategically deciding what you want to achieve, what you want to stop doing and do differently, what you need to prune off so that you can better use that time for the things that you dream to achieve. So can I ask you, if your family life was just the way you wanted it, what evidence would you see, hear and feel if you'd already achieved the lifestyle you want? With that vision in mind, take out a pen and a paper and write down what you want for your family, your relationship and yourself. Really think these things through. What are you working for? To achieve that, what must you stop doing? What is counterproductive? What must you do differently? And what must you start doing to have the family life you want? For me, what I needed to start doing was reclaiming back some of my own family time instead of giving my time out externally or giving too much of my time out externally. I hope some of these things have immediately, come to mind. Take a look at your list and decide what has stopped you from having the things you want in the past. Where are the roadblocks? How can you remove them? Prune off what gets in the way, what will give you clearer scope and more possibilities of moving forward for the family life that you really want. And the next is to begin to put some of your ideas and your wants, your dreams and your plans into goals. Achieve them. So here's a sample of the goal setting page using SMART goals from the Family Organiser. We will help you to do this, to do all the steps required to decide on your goals and to plan them out as achievable with a given time frame and a given time structure. So as you can see here, the Family Organiser helps you to plan specific, measurable, achievable and accountable goals, and also to achieve them within a desired time frame. And we have goals, asked you to think about goals for every area that includes communication, parenting, home organization, family health, relationships, your finances, education, recreation, homes, and family chores. So there you have it. When you have a comprehensive vision, you know how to go about achieving this in reality. Because real change comes with being systemized and being organized consistently and taking deliberate action over longer periods of time. Magic happens when you ask for cooperation and demonstrate you expect it, rather than debating, arguing, and entering into power plays over who does what and who did it last time. As a family, doing life together is something that pulls you together and teaches your children to be independent and to belong at the same time. I believe this tool helps children problem solve, makes good choices to actually enjoy doing things with the family whilst they develop individual strength, resilience, and capacity. It won't take that long for this way of living to become a habit. And when that happens, you really will feel a sense of relief. See the difference at home and in your relationships. You will hear less debate, less argument, less resentment. So, I invite you to go ahead. If you always do what you've always done, you will always get the same result. It's a change that makes a massive difference to the flow of every week, your confidence, your family emotion, and well-being. Step 3, after deciding on your wants and goals, is to schedule your wants into a 90-day plan. Big wants normally include things like family outings, birthdays, special events, holidays. Schedule these into a 90-day plan. Sometimes they include study or work commitments like traveling to another town to work, or different presentations or products that you need to develop for your work. Schedule those big things in so that you cover all the more pressing career needs and personal needs. Put in the date nights, the time you want to spend one-on-one with each child. And then schedule in your work days, school commitments, your children's commitments, their sporting activities, and regular times for family meetings and other regular occurring appointments like the dentist, commitments like times to exercise, to order your shopping, to pay the accounts, and then add in the home maintenance like pest control, for example, chores that need doing, and menu planning and cooking days. Decide on everything that must happen in the next 3 months period, and then work backwards, adding everything into a 90-day plan. From that, you will decide what actions you must take and which actions You must take monthly, each week over a 90-day period to get the results that you want, to have 90 days worth of positive achievement. Include tasks for family members and anyone you decide to outsource home maintenance or home tasks to. Now stay with me. You'll learn how to create this clear forward plan, delete overwhelm, smash your goals, and get things done so that you do get those 14 extra hours each week. One of my success principles is, if you want more success, then learn to receive and accept more support. At the end of this webinar, I'm going to give you the opportunity to purchase your own family organizer. And when you do that, we'll make sure you get all the support you need to create positive change and to begin using it at home. Now, if cost is something that you are concerned about, please don't let that bother you, because you can very, very easily afford this tool. I have made it, found a way to make it accessible to you for less than $70, because I really want every family to be able to live a positive life like this. We want you to succeed with everyday living. And we're going to give you absolutely free with your purchase 7 essential parenting guides and tip sheets that come with the organizer to make life easier and beginning to implement a change in every area of family life. You will get our tip sheets on teaching family optimism, 10 secrets to living guilt-free as a working parent, how to praise and encourage kids. You'll get a list of everyday jobs that kids can do and how to hold a family meeting, plus 10 secrets to positive communication. And you who are not really yet feeling confident about being structured or being organized, we've added in the productivity pack. If you're not normally an organized person, you might be thinking that this is out of your realm. So this bonus productivity pack will show you how to step up, how to nail your goals and keep focused in achieving everything you want to do in simple, easy ways. So in the productivity pack, you will get the tip sheets on how to stop or change what's not working, an efficient home cleaning schedule that anyone can stick to, an action matrix so that you can plan priorities and get them done first, and tips and strategies for building daily success habits. We're going to get you to eat your elephant one step at a time so that you get things done and stay on track for weekly success every week. I hear you thinking, maybe my children wouldn't cooperate. I don't think they will do this. So I want to show you how to handle this. The business of getting children to comply without escalating conflict. You see, young children are natural imitators. So take advantage of this early on. Involve toddlers and teach them when they watch you, since most are naturally curious. Young children love washing dishes and using equipment that normally adults use, such as a dustpan when they're little or even a vacuum cleaner when they're older. Let children choose jobs that fit with what they love, things they naturally like to do. For example, my grandchild is very fascinated with water. She's 10 years old, but she loves anything to do with water. So she just naturally enjoys washing windows, watering the garden, and she adores the dog. So washing the dog for her is an absolute joy, not a chore at all. And if you ask her to wash down the deck, there's a mountain of hosing and water spray action that goes with that, and she will be in her 7th heaven. So that doesn't seem like a chore at all to her. It's much more like play. My middle grandson is a foodie and he loves doing things in the kitchen. My older grandson is very computer literate and very computer savvy. He loves techie things. So for him, I will ask him to do things like the online shopping order. These are things all family members can be involved in that don't create a lot of effort because they naturally love some aspect involved in the task at hand. Let children see, hear, and feel that you value their contribution and work with what they naturally enjoy. That's half the problem solved. Involve them in decision making so that it doesn't feel like you are ordering or commanding them to do things. And as a family, use the organizer weekly, use the chore list, and get kids to write down so that they elect what they can do. Then support them. Teach them how to complete the jobs and tasks so that they get them right and they feel pride in their results. Avoid micromanaging or being fussy because no one likes to be told it's not good enough. Find another word for chores. There's no incentive in that word, so when you're talking to children, be really creative. You might try using some of their favorite things. For example, you could say things like, "Hey, superhero, your mission for the next 15 minutes is fly through that room, pick up the clothes and pop them in the washing basket." Something like that doesn't sound like you're asking a child to do a chore, and naturally it gets the sort of fun and optimism spiked up willingly. Also, I like to break chores into 15-minute blocks because then chores become easily manageable. When a family has a busy schedule, it's easy to run around for 15 minutes without that seeming like too much of a demand. But if you ask children to do something for 45 minutes, it is a bit of a stretch for their ability. Now, you can pair children up to do chores, putting older children and younger children together. Or sometimes you can pair up a child who already knows how to complete that task with a child who's perhaps still learning how to complete that task. You can also pair up one adult and one child, or one adult and two children, to do tasks together so that you are supporting your children and doing things with them until they learn how to do the task on their own. Let them see that all of these things are part of everyday living. With older children, let them decide what they can do, when they will do it, and how they will complete it, and give them choices that fit with their own schedules, their activity times, their homework, for example. Doing it this way gives them a chance in the seat rather than then you being at the back pushing an unwilling vehicle up the hill. A bit of control always fosters freedom and responsibility, and it prevents arguments. So keep it simple. Make it simple by getting organized with the resources that children need to complete tasks. Use non-toxic cleaners and have a place for everything so they can grab what they need and get the mission completed. I have a client who developed a trolley that has everything ranging from the dustpan, the window cleaner, the mirror wipes, the bathroom sanitizer, the dusting pan and the broom. Everything is attached to the trolley that just gets wheeled around the house. And that in itself makes children feel like they're in the driver's seat, and very important. So making things accessible and making things easy is a good way to, add to the flow of children doing tasks naturally. Have a routine, like I said before, for daily, weekly, fortnightly and monthly chores, and that puts everything on autopilot so you don't have to always be worrying about it. You can save yourself a lot of bother by teaching children everyday habits that become part of the natural flow of family life and reduce the need for you to ask them to do things. That immediately deletes opposition. For example, teach children that if you get out of the bed, make it. If you use a dish, put it in the dishwasher. If you take clothes off, put them in the washing basket. Teach them to pick up and pack away after an activity and before going to bed. I'm sure you can think of more everyday good habits. Whatever you do, avoid these 5 reasons that children often hate doing chores. Most kids hate chores that are boring, stressful, or when they don't know how to do the job. This means that you need to be very specific in advance and give them clear instructions, telling them how, what, why checking they understand, maybe showing them and letting them ask questions, or enabling them to ask for help if they need it. For example, if you want them to clean out their school bag rather than simply saying, clean out your bag, ask them to do it in stages. Put the rubbish in the bin, remove any food scraps, gather up and sort out the papers, put the notes on the fridge and put all the pencils in the pencil case. That way they can complete a process that completes the task. They hate doing boring and mundane things as much as you do, so try to add a little bit of fun in. Use a singing voice sometimes when you're talking to them about chores. Peep over their shoulder, give them a kiss on the cheek and tell them what a wonderful job they're doing. Be very clear, be uncomplicated, get their attention when you talk to them, and ask or discuss the task at hand before they go off to do it. Avoid anger, nagging, or demanding, which probably just get kids marching in the other direction. Kids don't like feeling small or less than, so if they do something, you firstly show them the sort of standard you expect, how to do the job. Let them practice it. Let them do it with you until the standard is right, and then let them do it without micromanagement or telling them that they are doing it wrong. Don't be too rigid at first or overly demanding in the timing of chores. Set some incentive and motivation and then agree that this will be completed by a certain time. That works for both of you. Often, things don't get done because, to be honest, everyone in the family is either chaotic, overly scheduled, or quite simply the kids are exhausted too. So what for that huge overwhelming factor? Now, just 3 more tips on this. Give each task a beginning, a middle, and an end to make it clear for children to follow the steps. If you are interested in techie stuff, you can use additional apps that provide motivation and incentives to children, and usually kids love these. There's lots, you can just Google them. And you can look at the picture and learn to live with simplicity. This is a great tip. Be careful what comes into your house. Declutter. Get rid of all the stuff that fills your home unnecessarily, and that way you can find and manage what you need anytime, and so can the children. Get techie smart and make it fun using the organizer, and get yourself some modern appliances. Things like cleaning equipment that take the muscle out of managing a home. Try robotic household heroes. Yes, robotic. The kids will love it. A robotic vacuum cleaner, for example, that can do the job while you're at work. Or a continuous robotic window cleaner. Fabulous. 2 examples of those are called Hotbot or RoboSnail. Just Google them and find out more about that. If all else fails, sacrifice takeaways. Use packed lunches. Get the train to work and save on parking. Do whatever it takes to get a weekly cleaner who can do the big jobs so that you and the family can easily take charge of the rest without letting housework take control of you. Never lose sight that involving children in chores can be fun, educational, can unite a family at a very roots level, and it's a regular way of making life work at your place. Now, I promise to help you hours each week, and I hope by now you already have some ideas, because being organized saves you time every single day. It will save you at least 1 hour of messing around, of getting into a frazzle, getting hassled, of procrastinating. It includes the time that you will save by getting your children organized into a morning and an evening routine, getting everyone on board to do some chores each week, and when you avoid that mental confusion that goes with trying to organize children to get ready to get out of the house or to go to bed, to pack up their things, when you delete that confusion, you get out of a spin, and that saves you another 30 minutes each day, not to mention the time you will save when you don't need to do several things at once. Already, that's a saving of around 7 hours a week in most households. Just simply having routines being organized will save you at least 1 hour each week. Now save another 7 hours a week by being prepared in advance, and that includes being prepared with meals. Cooking system, or simply cooking only 3 nights a week, you will save another 4 hours a week. By shopping online, you'll save about 1.5 hours each week, and you'll save time driving. Now let me show you the food systems. You can tackle this on a once-a-month basis or keep it simple and do fortnightly or weekly cook-ups. It's not that hard, and it is in many ways what our mums and our grandmas did before processed food hit the supermarket shelves. Have you heard of once-a-month cooking? Be mindful you will save most time doing this on a once-a-month basis. Personally, I really like the idea of a bulk cook-up because it creates the greatest time and effort saving. Spend one whole weekend preparing and cooking, and you won't actually have to cook from scratch for the rest of the month. All you need to do is shop for fresh produce, which you can have home delivered. Easy peasy. I just love it. This is how it works. You plan your menus in advance, get all your shopping lists set up, you shop online, have it delivered to your door. My delivery guy even brings it right into the kitchen. Then all you have to do is prepare your menus and get ready to cook up a storm. Prep as much as you can the evening before cooking and cook in batches. Make sure you wash up as you go along too, because that's a big part of what puts people off. When you get a friend to cook with you, it gets even easier. And when you do the wash-ups as you go, you will not get overwhelmed. Label everything with the date it was made and stack things systematically in the freezer. I use stackable freezer containers or bags. I put all the chicken on one shelf, the beef on another, the pasta and the veggie on another, and that way I can find things I need any time. This is really a wonderful way to prepare and cater for your family. There's several once-a-month cookbooks available. Google them. See what resources you can find to help you. And if the idea of a once-a-month cook-up just seems overwhelming, cook double anytime you make a family dinner, and that way you can get away with building up a freezer supply more slowly and cooking only 3 nights a week. I have done this for years, but now I prefer the once-a-month cooking system, which really gives me back a lot of time each week to do the things that I love. Now, there are lots of things that you can do to outsource and save even more sanity, time, and energy in a family. Outsource as much as you can afford and let other people do some of the household jobs for you, because that will save you even more time. You may find the time you save is more valuable to you than the money you pay for the service. You can get 3 hours of cleaning for much less than you think. Last week in Western Australia, I organised this for a family for a small cost of $114. That included cleaning a kitchen, 2 bathrooms, 4 bedrooms, family room, lounge, a TV room. And when you work that out, the hourly rate is as little as $38 per hour. Through a professional home cleaning service, police clearances, it was much more affordable and achievable than most people think it is. But do your homework, get some quotes, and check around the services in your area until you find what suits you. If you can't afford to have the whole house cleaned, just book in a couple of hours and get people to do the big jobs for you. Many people would rather do this than go out for a weekly family meal, say on a Friday night. By outsourcing simple, inexpensive services, smaller things like the ironing, using a car wash or a gardening service, you can save up to another 2 hours each week. And then add in quarterly home maintenance, things like carpet cleaning, window cleaning, and the larger garden cleanup. That will save your weekends and your family fun expands. You could have an average of another half an hour a week to play with. You could save even more time doing your weekly food order online monthly and planning your menus out monthly whilst commuting to work on the train, for example. Maybe this has not been a part of your daily life so far. For some people, the real difference comes when they change not what they do, but how they think. This is the mindset behind making positive change happen or not. So can I ask, what would be the cost of saving? What would be the cost of staying the same? What would be the cost of staying the same, crazy busy, compared to the benefit of more order, more time, more fun, better relationships, and better household management? If you had a piece of paper, 2 columns. On the one side, all the cost of the hassle and the bother, the stress that you might be feeling now. And on the other hand, the benefit of developing a system, of involving the children, of planning more, of outsourcing strategically, of developing some goals and having a very clear to-do plan. Can I ask you, will your children be less stressed with order and security when they know what will happen next? Will they become happier when they feel involved and when they can find things easier? Will they be happier knowing what needs doing, who will do it, and when, without nagging or anyone losing control? Will your household benefit from a positive shift like this? And would you like to create more special moments of time just for you and your partner? So you showed up, perhaps feeling like this, wanting to find a way of managing the load and making life easier, while gaining an extra 14 hours each week, because you deserve more than a life that looks like this. Maybe you joined the webinar to get more time or to get more control at home. I've given you a system to organize what has to be done daily, weekly, monthly, and in the long term. And in addition, I've shared how you can stop self-sabotaging by trying too hard. I have shown you how to get your kids involved more and what to do, how to outsource, and how to get rid of the weekend to-do list to get more freedom. I've shown you how to get specific and strategic to achieve what you want, and even how to set smart goals. The tools give your children control of what they contribute, and that in itself reduces a lot of family stress and makes you the support person rather than the commander. This means you can get everyone on side. They will see you respect their ability and they will cooperate more willingly, which means you can stop nagging or getting upset when they don't follow through on what you ask them to do. I have shown you how the Family Organiser makes daily living complete, family project, so that you don't have to be the family slave any longer. In addition, I hope you have some clarity around your absolute yes list, those things that are necessary in your life to create a little luxury and comfort, and that keep you and your own emotional tank topped up. I hope I've shown you how to get both more love, more time in the process of being more organized and more efficient. So, you're in the right place if you've decided to stop living crazy busy and create more order and more harmony at home. I have given you a lot of practical tips to get you started, but the question is, do you want this, the Family Organiser? If the answer is yes, for just $67, you get a family system that helps you stay organized, work better together as a family without the pain, without the policing, the nagging, and without the hassle that often comes with getting family members to do things. Remember, you can use this on a PC from anywhere. You can access that, and you can use it year after year. You'll stay on track, efficient and confident while you help your children to develop independence and life skills. With this, you will communicate more often in meaningful ways. You'll take the pain out of chore wars, develop more respect for each other, but you will have a way of living with routines and spend more family fun time together. And to make it happen, you get the bonuses too. You get my Family Organiser toolkit that includes 7 parent tips plus the productivity pack to help you stay on track. So if you want to be organised at home, if you want to keep all your family members involved in the process of positive life at your place, and if you want to keep the wheels turning 24/7 without meltdown, this is the solution. Yes, it's a practical tool that will save you time, will give you a gift of 14 extra hours each week. And it comes with the support that you need to get started. That's why I've included the mindset, the productivity packages, and the parenting tip sheets. So you can totally set up emotionally and physically to be the best that you can be, even if you work full time. Now, if you want this, if you respond quickly within this next 60 minutes, we will also send you an additional gift completely free. Yes, this is a self-coaching video. Delete overwhelm and clear clutter and get results. It will give you 1 hour of personal coaching that will help you to really step up into the productive position you need to be to start a new system like this and to start having the best year yet. I did tell you the Family Organiser provides a way you can stay on track with your spending too. So just to recap, everyone on the call that purchased the Organiser today will get the Family Organiser toolkit. That means you can create the best year ahead that you have ever had. You've already got my ebook, 27 pages to help you multiply time at home. You get the parenting tip sheets today, and you'll get the productivity toolkit too. Plus the bonus video, the coaching session on how to delete overwhelm, clear clutter, and get results. That comes with the option of a one-on-one strategy call if you would like to actually talk to me about the things that have kept you stuck in the past and work out a way forward. That's an absolutely free additional bonus. These offers are limited. The Organiser is normally part of the Frustrated Parents Bootcamp, but we have made it available to you at the beginning of the year because it's so important to start the year off with a clear mindset and a positive way forward as a family. We want you to have fuel in your tank this year. So just one payment of $67 gets you off to a new start and a wonderful family year ahead. If you stayed with me, please just type your name in an email, flick it off to me, and I will make sure that your bonus video coaching session sent back to you as soon as possible. So send me an email if you stay to the end at rosie.coaching@iinet.net.au. Click the link below to create your order, and it will be sent out to you as soon as possible. Thank you for spending time with me. Thank you for considering a new for your family, a new way of being better for you, better for your lover, better for your career, better in your daily life. Stay happy, stay on top of things, because parents are important and children matter too. And life's too short to be crazy busy. Very, very big thank you for staying to the end, and a very warm acknowledgement from my heart to yours. Take care. It's Rosie Bell, signing off this webinar. Thank you for being with me. Best of wishes for the new year.